ShartimusPrime, reading comics, toys are hella sick,
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing a quick collection cleanup video on my Avengers villains shelf. Now, those of you that watch the P.O. Box pickup videos, you guys have noticed that the shelf behind me has been all warped and bending downward and have way more villains creeping up on those Avengers heroes. So I just decided that I'm going to remove all the heroes, all the Avengers, and it's just going to be Avengers villains. So I've already actually cleaned it up, but I have footage of me cleaning everything or rearranging the figures. So what I had already done was I had removed that warped piece of wood. That's gone. I replaced it with another one, and I've added two new braces that are held in with drywall anchors because there happens to not be a stud in that particular spot right there. So it took at least an hour and a half for me to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and at least double time this. So here's me cleaning up all the figures on the shelf.
So I'm posing action figures every day. You can see that I started with the Dark Avengers all the way to the right over there. That was just something that I had been wanting to do for a long time, was have my Dark Avengers with my Avengers villains. They'd been kind of tucked away in a different Avengers shelf all the way to the side, or you could see further back over there, you know, that black shelf over there. You guys remember, you see my collection videos, right? Don't you? But yeah, here's the Ultron. I think I want to add more Ultrons to this display, but so far I just have the Marvel Select and then the two Hasbro Ultrons hanging over there. I believe there's another Hasbro Ultron that was released in the UK that I kind of want to get, but I could probably add more Ultrons up there. And then here's my Masters of Evil, quote unquote, not really Masters of Evil / Iron Man villains set up, so I kind of just clumped them all together right over there. And I think I changed Blizzard around. Oh, there goes a Frost Giant. Oh, I remember that. That was devastating. And then getting MODOK set up over here was really hard, which was really surprising for me because I had MODOK up on the shelf without any problems for years. And here I am setting him up the same way. You could see the twisty tie going around him, and yeah, I finally got it. And that helmet for the Frost Giant is on the ground. I eventually picked that up. But yeah, I remember switching the Blizzard around, the placement for the Blizzard for quite some time. Then here we are setting up some AIM soldiers. Yeah, love my AIM soldiers. I have my custom AIM soldiers in there that, I don't know, they kind of bleed in there okay or fit in there all right. You know, the yellow I used on mine are just so much brighter than the yellow that Hasbro used, and I actually prefer the yellow that Hasbro used. I think that's actually perfectly fine. I love my modded out Mandarin figure. Oh my goodness, we need a new Mandarin figure. How come more people aren't talking about that? How come I'm not talking about that more often? But I guess Mandarin's not really in the mix so much, but you know, yeah, with the new movies coming out, you know, we're probably going to, or with the whole, you know, Avengers movies coming out. What was it? Shang-Chi, I get his name, Shang-Chi, and the Master and the 10 Rings. I think we're going to see that. So here we are getting that Select Destroyer figure up there, which had fallen at least once on me, which is devastating because that thing is very heavy. And then try to get my Enchantress and Loki set up together over here because, you know, hey, I don't know. They're not. I don't think they're like technically a couple, but I feel like Enchantress uses Loki a whole bunch, right? Isn't that what I've seen before in the past? But I just sprayed some of this orange oxy. It's like all made with like, you know, natural chemicals and stuff. You know, it's pretty good for cleaning things that you don't, you know, want to have ruined. So I spray that on a napkin and then I wipe down the figures. So my Ironmonger was pretty dusty, and that's roughly a quick explanation on how I clean my figures. So yeah, or you can do it with water too. You don't even have to use that stuff. Put water on a paper towel and then like wipe, and then use your fingernail to get into the creases and whatnot. If that doesn't work, maybe try using a Q-tip. If that doesn't work, try using a toothpick. but be very careful. But it's a toothpick. It's probably not going to scratch too bad. And then getting a Serpent Society set up over here, which I'm pretty stoked about, getting more of those characters. Unfortunately, they're all the way off to the side, which is not where I originally wanted them. And I'm extremely embarrassed that I dropped my Kang figure without realizing it and going over the collection video like how we're about to do in just a moment, because I'm about wrapped up setting this up. But yeah, the Kang figure fell over. And then just touching up the Dark Avengers.
So we're an hour and a half later, and the figures are all on the shelf. And since that recording, they actually did fall over, so there are a couple out of position, like my custom Iron Patriot right over here. So here's my Dark Avengers. I have them all together. Much more prominent spot on the shelf, so I'm pretty stoked about that. And I just added the Black Ant right there because, hey, he should have been part of Dark Avengers, but I think he was created after the whole Dark Avengers, so this makes sense. We definitely need a Moonstone figure or a Dark Ms. Marvel, Dark Ms. Marvel. And then this is my Baron Zemo and my kind of like Masters of Evil, but not quite set up right over here. These are a lot of the villains that remind me of the Iron Man cartoon from back in the day. So a lot of Iron Man villains around over here. You can see we got the Monster Venom that's supposed to be part of the Dark Avengers. I have a few Ultrons right up there. And you get the Select Ultron, which I custom painted. You can see Batroc the Leaper not leaping. And then here's a bunch of AIM soldiers. Yeah! So I'm really stoked about this setup right over here. And I got a couple of custom AIM soldiers right there. And then there's some other ones. A couple from the 2-pack, a couple single-carded ones. And we have the Toy Biz MODOK kind of leaning off. And I'm afraid to move that because I don't want it to fall over and knock everything down. Oh, that would suck. And then you can see we got Loki and Enchantress right there. Looking dope, I think. Kind of like that. And we got the latest Abomination figure. And then we have Absorbing Man, Malekith. This is the Select Thanos, just because I do like it over both comic version Thanos figures from Marvel Legends. And then we have my modified Mandarin right there. And then the Universe Gigantic Battlers, Frost Giant, Marvel Select Destroyer. Then here's our Wrecking Crew. And then, of course, I've modded out my Red Skull like crazy. And we got a bunch of Hydra characters right over here. I don't like how Baron Zemo's kind of getting covered. Maybe I'll switch. Or not Baron Zemo, I'm sorry. Arnim Zola. Yeah, I may have to switch that. But yeah, then we get the Air Rogers right there. Love that Taskmaster figure. I don't know. I feel like I could use more Hydra soldiers. What do you guys think? Got the Bruisers right there. Got a floating... damn, it's like, where's everything? Ironmonger. And then we got all these, trying to like get everything inside here. It's kind of like a tough fit Ex Nihilo right there. And then the Red Guardian. And then we have our, dang, these figures fell over right here. I'm scared to fix it. But our Serpent Society figures. Come on. All right, cool. So that looks pretty good. It's coming along okay. Looks like Doom is just a little bit too far back over here, but I don't want to move it. Again, thank you, Nick Jordan, right there. Got to clean up this wall. Got a leader. So, yeah, that's all my Avengers villains right here. There's still some much cleaning up that needs to be done in the dork room, but it looks pretty good so far, man. I don't know. I think that looks dope right now. And then big shout out to patron Colton, who came up with the idea, asking me, like, hey, can you see if you could fit some Hulk parts on that Kingpin body? Because when that gray Hulk comes out, I want to see if I can make a Mr. Fix-It. And you can put the hands in there just fine, and you can get the head on there. The neck is going to look weird, and the head does not fit on there perfectly. But, yeah, it's Colton's idea. Shout out to him. And, yeah, I'm all sniffly. Sorry, you guys. But, yeah, once a gray Hulk comes in, I don't know, I may mess around with that. It could be some fun. There's other parts of the dork room that need to be cleaned. The X-Men villains aren't really totally finished over here. I have the new Juggernaut in place, and then the Avengers heroes are not totally all fixed up. I'm missing War Machine, but I did add some new Avengers figures. If you didn't notice already, yes. Oh man, that looks dope. Oh yeah. I got the 80 years Thor up there as well. So pretty stoked about this. Monster Mash's Valkyrie custom right up there. So yeah, a lot of good stuff over here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry, no review today, but you know what? It's a lot of traveling and stuff going on, and I hope to see you guys over at FanX. And stay tuned for a review coming soon, because I do have a couple lined up for the weekend. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Peace! Hey, new Shartimus Prime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face, a sip more shot, your face, a sip more shot, your